most countries. In the West, in certain cultures, it used to be a period of mourning that you have to do. 1 year. In India, we stigmatize it so much that for a long time there was rules against widows getting married again. Because, of course, you have to grieve all of your life. Now, I don't know the frequency of cancer in widows. That would be an interesting study. But I would not be surprised if many of these widows died of cancer. I really wouldn't. I don't know if such data is available or somebody is courageous enough to go and take this data. It's an important piece of data. Because when we are forced to exclude love, an immune system certainly will malfunction, and that malfunction can very well cause disease of organs, especially heart chakra organs. Don't forget, the breasts are heart chakra organs. Something interesting to think about. So likewise, if we love, and remember, love is not only a function of romantic love. I'm not saying that. I'm never saying that. Of course, love of parents, love of children. So don't do your research with widows who have children to love, or widows who are situated in a loving family. No. You have to find widows who are really left by themselves. And then the only person they can love is themselves. And suppose they can't or they don't, I'm talking about those women who are so unfortunate never to have learned themselves, love themselves, and don't have any person to love. Society has given this stigma that, look, you are a widow, you cannot love, you cannot marry again. I'm talking about those unfortunate persons. Anyway, let's not dwell on too much on this sad story of the widows, and let's come back to the good stuff. So what's the good stuff? Good stuff is the flip side. The flip side is that if we learn to love, we will never have to worry about breast cancer or any cancer, maybe. All you have to do is to learn to love. And what does that mean? That means maybe like Ramana Maharshi says, to discover that there is also self of the heart. There really is an autonomic system based on the immune system. But maybe it's not just the immune system. See, that's where things get a bit complicated. When we just get into the immune system, then we find that, well, immune system is just not complex enough. Neocortex is very complex. Out of the complexity, all kinds of things can happen. So we can postulate that the mechanism through which the self comes about, I'll talk about that tomorrow. We just don't have time today. So, immune system is just not complex enough. Take my word for it. It really isn't. Thymus gland, very simple system. Rest of it, not so complex. So I was stuck with this problem for a while. Neocortex, one can easily find a system within it which will have just the right property to embody consciousness itself. But immune system was ready to give up. Then I go to this conference where I am speaking on the quantum side of vital energy, because quantum physics can make this model of non-physical energies. And a Chinese medicine practitioner was talking about how, by using the concept of Chinese medicine, this person could help women prevent breast cancer. And he had data. I was amazed. He told me later that he was also amazed that quantum physics can make a model for these vital energies, the mysterious qi of Chinese medicine. We are both very pleasant to the other and surprising to the other. But what he said is that in order to keep the breast cancer not coming, what a woman needs to do is to nourish not the heart chakra organs, surprisingly, but the navel chakra organs. navel chakra organs. Listen to this. Stomach, liver. So all the Chinese don't do pranayama with vital energy. They do Tai Chi, what is called Tai Chi. Instead of movement of breath, like, you notice how the navel and the heart is involved in the pranayama, right? Similarly, they do, right? The energy, they're visualizing energy is rising and energy is falling between these two chakras, between the navel and the heart. So I became very curious. And indeed, the Chinese medicine has a system where organs affect organs in two different ways. And when you say organs, they don't mean organs. They mean the morphogenetic field corresponding to the organ, the vital counterpart of the organ. And they say that they can be supportive, they can also be restraining. Two types of interaction. So arrow going one way, but arrow going also another way. And this was the key for postulating that yes, together, this chakra organs and this chakra organ together, they can make just the system that is required to make a self. Then why don't we? Why don't we? This is the big question. Why don't we? So let's go over a little bit of why don't we, and then how could we will come naturally. So why don't we? Well, first of all, we don't have body awareness. I know some of you are physicians, some of you are vital energy physicians, but tell me true. Do you experience emotions, the feeling component of emotions in your body? Come on. If you are like me, shamelessly I have to admit that I learned to experience feelings in my body only when I was over 40. I went through so many years of my life just being in my brain. But of course, I am a man. Women do experience feelings in the body. In fact, some women go to such an extent they identify with the heart. They always tell men that learn to pay attention to the heart. They do. And men feeling smug. What is in the heart? It's just a pump. Brain, right? So I was like that too. And then I went to this workshop. Their heart is opening up. So I get very jealous. Brain is not helping me. I mean, after all, these people are having fun, and I'm the one who is left out. So I tell the workshop leader, what is going on? I am not getting any experience, and you are giving these people experiences. In India, it's the country of gurus. I believe that this guy is giving the experiences, like a guru gives you prasadam. The fellow says, I am not giving anything to anybody. My heart is open. You take it or you leave it. I said, what does that mean? So he said it again. He said, Amit, I can only open the door for you. But you have to go through it. Why are you staying outside? Something he did, something he said, must have been extremely poignant because I understood what he's trying to say. And my brain quit at that moment. And I experienced energy viscerally. I experienced me, a scientist, brain person, right? Neocortex. First time in my life, volitionally, consciously experienced energy in the body, energy in chakra. So, within 10 years, I had all these theories, and of course, it's wonderful to construct theories, but you have to experience it first, otherwise the motivation lacks. And this is, by the way, one of the reasons that we cannot get too many of the hard scientists to pay attention to consciousness research. Because those guys are equally stuck in the brain, and I sympathize. I really do sympathize. It is hard. If you have not experienced consciousness the way Ramana Maharshi or Aurobindo did, how can you ever accept that consciousness is the ground of being? It's difficult. It's difficult. So please understand their problem too. And let's not be antagonistic to any of the conventional medical practitioners for that reason. So, coming back to it then, how do we do it? Step by step. Step one, how we get back to the heart? Step one, journey towards the heart. Spirituality 101, right? Step one, experience feelings in your body. In other words, take those romantic feelings that used to happen to us when we first time fell in love. Heart, that throbbing, remember? Tinglings, right? For some of you, that was a long time ago. In long marriages, we feel them less and less, especially in India. We don't, this is a culture where we don't value the romantic feelings very much, but we should, we really should. So, first thing, feel energy in your body. Second thing, what is the second thing that keeps us? Well, it is two chakras, not one. Heart and the navel. Now here is a proposition that I am making. The proposition is, women by their very nature have a weak identification with the navel chakra. Men by their very nature and upbringing have identification with the navel chakra, but less identification with the heart chakra. Vice versa for women. Women has more identification with the heart chakra, but less with the navel. In popular terms, this means that women don't have much feeling of self-worth. You can be Indira Gandhi, but did Indira Gandhi have much self-worth? I suspect not. Just a suspicion. You may not believe me. But talk to Sonia Gandhi, does she have self-respect? I suspect not, again. But Narendra Modi, full of self-respect. Does Narendra Modi have a heart? Perhaps not. Does Sonia Gandhi have a heart? Perhaps yes. I think it can be generalized that way. I think more or less it is true that men have more navel, women have more heart. This men-women discrepancy or imbalance is what keeps us from getting this full advantage of having autonomy in the body. So we have really autonomy, all of us have autonomy in the brain, but not autonomy elsewhere in the body, and this is why we are so brain-centered teachers. Even the women who talk about heart, but really don't have autonomy of the body, just a recognition of the heart, that doesn't do it by itself. The autonomy depends on both of these chakras to be equally emphasized, and this is why we need to integrate the male and the female within us. Jungian psychologists talk about it. Surprisingly, Jesus talked about it 2,000 years ago. When the male shall not be male and the female not be female, then shall you enter the kingdom of heaven. Jesus said that. It's amazing. And of course, the Indian culture is full of it. Ardha Nariswara, what is that? Shiva and Parvati, half Shiva, half Parvati. The best Shiva is the half Shiva. Best Parvati is the half Parvati. Can you imagine those guys, what they are trying to tell us? Parvati with her heart and Shiva with his navel together. This is the picture. This is our future. This is the way we become loving. Of course, cancer is just a disease. It's just a temporary setback. So we die. So what? We come back, reincarnate. No big deal. But getting the center of consciousness in the heart is a big deal. Why? Because the brain makes representations of the mind. We get too much mind, too much thinking, not enough feeling. The highest epitome of human life is the archetypes, the supramental. This is what the rishis have told us. This is what the Christian saints have told us. This is what Muhammad told us. This is what Buddha told us. It's one thing they all agree. It's these archetypes, goodness, love, justice, truth. Those are the things that you have to manifest. How do we manifest them? With thought alone? No way. We have to bring in the feeling that we call noble feelings that comes with our higher chakras. The low chakras are all about survival. But the higher chakras, they are capable of representing these archetypes, like love is represented in the heart-navel combination. This is our future. This is what our capacity is. When we do that, when we balance the brain and the heart, we get emotional intelligence. Now my time is really up. Thank you very much. Thank you.